that you ought to try out Dr. Dre beats. Pastor, what are you talking about? I'm talking about a world that has adopted a spiritual concept, and God is blessing that spiritual concept because God just wants his name promoted in the earth. And watch this, the world has adopted evangelism marketing. Here's my question that I want to wrestle with for the few minutes that we have left. How is it that corporations are adopting evangelism marketing while the church is abandoning evangelism?
Come on.
It seems like if churches are the original impetus for evangelism, it seems like churches ought to be evangelizing more than anything else. Could it be, brothers and sisters, that corporations have looked at the rise of Christianity and they looked at it and they did a case study? They said to themselves, how is it that the church has made it through all of the storm that it's been through? How is it that the church has lasted as long as it's lasted? Could it be that they looked at the model for the church and said the only way the church was able to last as long as it's lasted is because they evangelize. They go out and they tell somebody about Jesus Christ. Could it be that corporations looked at it and said, well, if it worked for the church, it'll work for Macy's, it'll work for Kohl's? Could it be that when the world looked at what the church was doing, because it worked for the church, they adopted it? And so if it works for them, why doesn't it work for us any longer? Pastor O, how is it, Pastor O, that corporations are opening doors while churches are closing their doors? Pastor O, how is it, Pastor O, that churches can't seem to make their ends meet while it seems like corporations have enough money for CEOs to exploit and be greedy? Pastor O, how is it that it seems like corporations are taking our Bible stories and they're making movies and putting it on a big screen while it seems like the Christians that sit in the pews week in and week out can't open up their mouth and tell anybody about the God that's in these stories? How is it that they're making millions and hundreds of millions telling our story while we come out in and out of church every week and we come in broke and leave broke? But they are telling our stories all over the globe and they're making billions off our story. Could it be? Could it be that while we are abandoning evangelism, that evangelism really worked? Could it be that just because you didn't evangelize doesn't mean that evangelism doesn't work? Listen, if you never pick up a screwdriver in your life, if you never put a tool belt on in your life, if you never drive a nail with a hammer in your life, let me tell you, the screwdriver and the hammer still They are tools that work regardless of whether you use them or not. But here's what I've discovered. When you use the tools that God created for the job, when you use the right tool, then it'll make any job easy. Would you nudge your neighbor and say, if you want to see the kingdom of God grow, use the right tools?